Hey, what's up, guys? This is Eddie from Best Media, and today we are going to start a PHP development series. In this tutorial, we are going to start a application development series, and in this episode, I'm going to develop a complete school management system, which will help to intermediate and advanced level programmers to develop a complete application in PHP. So here you can see I already have created a folder for the school management system, and I am going to create another folder, configuration folder, and let's open it with the VS Code. In the VS Code config folder, I'm going to create a configured PHP file which will include all kind of configuration. So let's begin with the session start. We need some of the constants, so I'm going to use first the default time zone. It's Asia Kathmandu, my time zone. Now define some of the constant which will be assigned to hosting. Here I am using local. When we install it or upload it into the server, we will change it to the server configuration. In the development time, we will use local. Then another constant is site stage. It means it's on development stage or deployment stage. So I'm using development stage so that we can show hide all kinds of error and other things. Let's define another constant, that is char set, which will be UTF-8. So now I'm going to define another constant, that is DB name or MySQL database name, which will be DB school. Because we are using school management system, we are going to develop school management system, that's why I'm using DB school. So if site is as double equals to development, then we'll open the error repeating. So I set display error will be 1. Then error reporting e underscore all, so that we will find all kinds of error during development period. Otherwise, in the else condition, we'll hide the error. So we'll set I set display error equals to 0. Sorry, display error value to 0. Again, error reporting is 0, so that during the host time no one will see the errors. So in this statement, in the next stage we will define the database constant. So if configuration is local, then we'll define some of the constant, that is db host, which will be localhost for our local machine. Then again db user, which is definitely root in my localhost. Again another one is the db password, which is null for my local machine, and if. And similar thing we can set for the server side, so that we will be easily converted. We will easily upload it in the server side. When we write for the server it's compatible with the server system. Okay, there is some error. Let's terminate it, and we are going to create another class, which is DB class, which contain all kinds of crude operation functions or methods. So let's write the PHP tag first, then I'm going to keep the comment here. It's a crude class for select, insert, update and delete. As you all guys knows that the crude function is create, read, update and delete. So I'm writing some comment here so that anyone can understand. First of all, we will require the config file. After including config file, we can declare a class that is db class db, and in this db class we will use some of the private variable, that is db host, which will have the value of db host constant, again $db user, which will be db user constant. Let me see what we have used, the db user and db password. So next one is the $db password, which is db password. Next one is the private $db name, so it's db name. All of the file we have declared into the config file. So let's create the constructor, which will help us to set the connection. In the constructor, we will check if not is set this db, then we will set the db using the exception handling method, that is try catch. So here in the connection, which is new video, and MySQL host is $db host, and db user equals to this db user, sorry, db name, and this db user and this db password. So we have assigned all of the values, and here we will use the attribute, which will be video attribute error mode and video error mode exception. In the next step, we will execute using the UTF-8 parameter, which is a set names UTF parameter, which will help us to execute the MySQL query into the UTF-8 format, and this db con $con. And in the class exception, we will give the video exception $e, which is error message, and in the die state we can write fail to connect database server and can show the error message. Get message. Okay, so we have completed the connection system. Now we can move for the functions, code function. In the first step, I am going to create the read method. So here we will create a function or method which is a public function get rows, which will contain two parameter, that is table and condition, which will be the array condition. We can say it parameter. First of all, let's assign the SQL value to select. Generally, we always use the select statement for read the values from MySQL table. Another one is SQL and concatenate with the checking the array key exists, because we can pass the array keys in the condition array. So if we have the selector array, then we will have the conditions. Then it will be the conditions, which is select, which will be in the select key. Otherwise, we will use the all or asterisk function, asterisk. Then SQL concat with the term from the $table. Our table name is in the table variable. So let's check if there is the where condition. So array key exists, where, then the query, then condition, we will use the where, and there may be the multiple where condition, that's why we are going to loop it. So initialize the I value to 0, then for each $condition where key as key value. So we'll use the key and values also here for the where condition. Then we'll declare another pre variable, which will be the $i is greater than 0. Then we'll concat using AND operator. Otherwise, we will use null statement. Then we will concat it with the SQL statement, which will be pre concatenate key equals to. So we will pass the values into the single quote. That's why I am using the single quote values inside the double quote. Then increment statement. So this one is the for loop, for each loop, and this one is the if condition. Now we will check another statement, that is order by statement. And if we have the key existed in a condition order by, then we will concat the SQL with the order by statement. That's why SQL dot equals to order by condition order by key. So there may be other conditions, that's why like limitation and group by condition. So we will write them later. So here I am going to use the query and query prepare $query equals to this db prepare SQL statement. Then we will execute the query, and for the moment I am going to use a data variable to assign all of the page data. Later we can fetch a single row also. I will manage that function, that tags in this function later. So if return value is not in dt data, then data or false statement. So we will get data or false statement in the select statement. So now let's create another method, that is insert method, which will help us to insert the data in tables. Let's create the function name to insert, and we'll have two parameters, table name and data. So it's not empty data, and is array data. So we'll pass the data in array, that's why we are checking in array data. Then we'll check the columns, which is null for the moment, and values is null. Then let's initialize the loop. Let's create a column string, which we'll find from the data, that's why we will implode it using the comma, and from the array keys data. Another value is the value string, which will be implode using colon, and we'll implode it using comma colon, and we'll check the array key data. So we can write the SQL statement, which will be insert into. So we'll find the table name from the parameters, that's why $table, and use the bracket where will be the column strings, and we'll get the values from the value strings. Let's terminate it, and in the next step we will prepare the DB. DB prepare SQL. Let's look out it for this $data as key, which will have the val, and we can bind the value $query bind value, key and value. So now we can execute the insert query. After inserting the query, then we can return insert statement, which will check if we got the last insert ID. Otherwise, we'll have the false condition, and in the else statement will return false. So here we have completed two major tasks in our application, which is read and insert for the CRUD method. So that's all for this episode. I will continue with another episode for update and delete. Keep watching and do not forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you guys. Have a good day. See you later.